Go.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. What's up? I'm Michelle and Paige is here today, but she's gonna join me in a little bit. This morning I am making homemade almond milk and we're gonna use the pulp from the almonds to make almond muffins. So I have been soaking these almonds overnight, just water and almonds, raw, unsalted. And I'm gonna strain it. There's also a couple of dates in here because I like my almond milk to be a little bit sweet. So I have about 4 dates in here that have also been soaking, just so that it's really easy for the blender to blend everything up. I'm gonna strain these and rinse them, and then we're gonna pop them into our blender. So before I put this in my water to soak overnight, it was about 2 cups of almonds. They expand obviously because they're absorbing the water. So now I have about 4 cups of almonds and I'm gonna do 4 cups of water into here. And like I said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dates. You can always add a little bit more water too after you're done blending and straining the almonds, dependent on texture. So we're gonna do this first and we can adjust the water content as we go. So I'm just gonna blend this up. I'm gonna use, on my blend tech, I'm gonna use the whole juice setting because I really want it pulverized. And then we'll strain it through some cheesecloth and that's pretty much it. So let's blend. All right, so I'm gonna pour this into a container so that I can use my blender for the cheesecloth just because it's got a wider mouth than this jar and I want to be able to strain it through that. So it's super creamy, it looks like a smoothie, but we're gonna strain it, all of that out. So I'll dump that in here. I'll give this a quick rinse and then we're gonna use our cheesecloth. I folded my cheesecloth up a couple times. There's about 8 layers here to this. So I'm gonna put this over my blender and sink it in a little bit. Now I have a abnormally large rubber band that I got probably with some type of package in the mail. I've never bought rubber bands, but they accumulate, as I feel like they do for most people. So I'm going to wrap this around the blender to hold this in place, and I'm going to pour this in. We let it drip for about 3 minutes. Next, I'll squeeze out all of the liquid out of the cheesecloth. You have to be careful though to not let the edges come apart because then you'll get the almond paste into your almond milk. So you really want to make sure that that's tight and you really have to squeeze it. Our 4 cups of almonds, our 4 cups of water equals 4 cups of almond milk. I know that math doesn't seem right, but we still have 4 cups of almond paste here. Roughly. I'm just gonna give it a little taste test here to see how much water we should add, but I mean, look at that. That is some legit almond milk. Oh my God, wow. Wow. The best part of making almond milk at home is that the flavor is just so much more enjoyable. It's not so watered down like store-bought versions. So you could keep some of this maybe in a small container as creamer, or you can make a big pitcher of milk with it. I think the texture is amazing, so I don't want to add too much water, but I think I'll add about 1 cup just to make this stretch a little bit further. I'll add 1 cup of water, and then I'll transfer it into my mason jar to store it in the fridge. Look at that, guys, wow. Perfect. Yum. Wow, that's amazing. There you go. Homemade almond milk, and it took us like less than 15 minutes. So, yum. All right, so let's move on to our almond muffins. I'm gonna make almond lemon muffins. I have the oven going at 375. Paige is gonna get us set up with some muffin tin liners. I'm gonna dump in all of our almond paste. It's like between 2 and 3 cups. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. All right, so here is our almond paste. It's kind of like an almond meal. but it's still nice and moist. So with that said, we don't need too much water in there. I'm gonna start off with just 1 cup of flour because I don't want it to be too much. With this recipe, I totally just wing it.
I was gonna say, I'm learning this recipe for the first time. This is Michelle's.
This is not something I got offline. I just wing it. So
they're gonna turn out great, just like our cornbread muffins did.
As long as you have a couple simple ingredients, basic ingredients that go together, it'll work. So I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of, actually probably less than a teaspoon of baking powder. I like the flavor of baking powder. I know that sounds weird, but
interesting.
I enjoy it. And then I'm gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda, some date paste. Did I added 2 scoops of flour, right? Yeah.
You did. 2 cups of flour.
Two scoops, so this is about half a cup.
1 cup of flour.
1 cup of flour, yep. And then a couple dollops of our date paste that we made for pumpkin pie. Mm-hmm. So probably about half a cup of this to a full cup, depending on how sweet you like your muffins. I like these muffins in the morning, so I don't want them to be sickly sweet. Mm-hmm. So we don't need that much. I'm gonna add in a half a cup of lemon juice. I know that sounds like a lot, but lemon is good. So you can actually buy this at Sprouts if you don't want to juice a bunch of lemons. This time of year, lemons aren't very juicy anyway, and it's just pure lemon juice. So about half a cup. And I already know that we're gonna need more flour.
Ooh, it's sizzling.
Yeah, I'm actually not gonna put in the apple cider vinegar. I was, but lemon juice and baking soda have a similar reaction. So we're gonna leave it at that. Let's pull out a little mixer here and mix this up and see if we need to add anything else. We're gonna add now, oh wait. Huh. You wanna mix that? Yeah.
How much?
Let's start off with a half a cup and add from there.
Remember, you can always add more liquid, but you cannot take it away.
I think this will do it too. Lastly, I'm gonna put in a little bit of vanilla.
Ooh.
This is a lemon based, so you wouldn't want to add like cinnamon or nutmeg, but if you decide not to do lemon, those flavors work really well with almond. But the lemon in here, you want to keep really fresh, bright ingredients, so vanilla is a good one to add into that. I'm gonna give a little taste test too. Yum. I'm gonna add a little bit more lemon juice too. Half cup. Let's do another half cup because I think that it could still use a little bit more liquid. And I'll put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could also add poppy seeds to this, make it kind of like an almond lemon poppy seed, which
I love lemon poppy seed.
I love lemon poppy seed too. This texture is amazing. It's so light and fluffy, so you know it's gonna rise really well. We have baking powder and baking soda in there, so they'll definitely rise. So we decided we wanted to add a little bit of ginger because it still feels like it needs something to balance it out. Guys, we're just experimenting and playing here today, which is generally what I do when I make recipes like this. I had leftover almond meal, wanted to make some muffins, so we're just kind of playing around.
There it is.
Yep, cool. All right, we're gonna scoop these into our tins, put them in the oven for about 25 minutes, and we'll see you guys in a second. In we go. Done. All right, guys, so the muffins are done. They sank a little bit, but that's okay. But let's dive into them. They ended up cooking for 40 minutes. And yeah.
Ooh, they're coming off perfect.
Yep. Lemony, hearty.
A great breakfast muffin.
Totally.
It's really good. Very almond mealy, but it's good. Like, I really like it. And moist. I hate that word.
Moist.
Yum.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed some almond milk and some muffins, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye. Maybe not. Milky, milky, milky. Murphy, get off the counter, you bitch.
Take it away, Murphy!
Murphy, get down.
They're just good.
Their choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.